everybody, it's Mike, aka That Reseller Guy. We're going to use this angle again today. It seemed to work pretty good yesterday. This way I can stand up and not just sit in my chair as I always do. And what do we got going on today? A couple things. First off, we're going to go over sales. Just a few sales today. I only had 4 sales for like 80 bucks. Pretty slow day. Yesterday wasn't crazy busy either, so we'll kind of go over a couple days worth of sales. And this morning I did go out to my antique booth, so we're going to talk a little bit about that. So let's get started. So like I said, I got 4 items back here that I sold, 80 bucks, not a real busy day. I do have a $100 sale pending, 4 items that they comboed together, and hopefully they'll pay for that. Their feedback was pretty good, so I do expect them to pay, but you know, you're always a little bit nervous when the payment doesn't come in right away, or it's been, you know, almost a day now that they haven't paid. Hopefully it comes in. I want that 100 bucks. But yeah, a couple different sales here. Again, these are all kind of low dollar sales. This one actually is kind of cool. I bought a bunch of golf balls, and I didn't really know it at the time until I got home and checked them out, that these golf balls have logos on them, and it's the Mr. Zip logo. I had no idea who Mr. Zip was, so what do? You look on Google. Mr. Zip, actually, I guess at one point, or maybe still is a mascot logo for the USPS. I didn't know. You'll see it in the pop-up. So it's like a little mailman-looking guy. His name was Mr. Zip. So I have, 5 of these little tubes of golf balls, 3 each. And this is the first one that sold. It sold for $6.99 plus shipping. Next little sale is an autographed hockey puck. This actually has 2 signatures on it, but I really don't know who they are. It came from my guy. Rather than ask him who it was and try to figure it out, I just went ahead and listed the puck. Threw it out there for $12.99 plus shipping, and it sold. Only took a couple days. Sold my last one of these Winnie the Pooh prints. I think I had probably 10 or 12 between Mickey Mouse and Winnie the Pooh. I have 1 Mickey left. This is the last one of the Pooh. And these actually came from the Disney Gallery, came through like an ex-employee. They had a bunch of these that were unframed. They have like the little embossed logo, and they're individually serial numbered. They're pretty cool. They probably look great framed. I'm sure at the Disney store they probably sold them for, I don't know, $50, $80, $100, some crazy amount. But for me, $29.99 free shipping. And I do need to put this in like a little rigid holder and mail it flat so it gets there safely. That's kind of the one knock on these, is they're a little bit of a pain in the butt to ship. The last of today's item is a bobblehead, and I sent this guy out a crazy good offer. I don't really even know exactly who this player is, Nomar Mazara. This is a minor league bobblehead, and I picked it up at a thrift store. Probably paid $1 or $2 for it, not too much because I wouldn't have paid much for this guy. And had it at my store, I think for 15 bucks. It came up on my offers list, so I sent him an offer of $7 plus shipping. Yeah, the shipping's actually more than the bobblehead. Charged him 10 bucks for shipping, 7 for the bobblehead. So we got about $17 all in. I think I did that math right. So yeah, 17 bucks for the bobblehead after fees and everything. I'm really not making anything, but at least I'm getting this out of here, and I probably won't buy any more of those. All right, we'll go over these sales from yesterday. Not too many things either, but a couple of unique things. First up, I got some more of those Harley Davidson pins that I told you that I sold the other day, that I bought a whole bunch of these. Actually, back here, I got a whole stack of, you can see, these are actually Harley parts that were in a different lot. Looked some of those up yesterday. I'm going to do really good on that lot too. I bought 2 different Harley boxes at the auction. Paid like $12.50 a piece for each box. Doing pretty good on them already. This is a lot of 3 different HOG, which stands for the Harley Owners Group, and they're mileage pins. So I guess after you accrue so many miles, somehow you apply and you get these pins back. This was like the 5,000, 10,000, and 25,000 mile pins. Just comboed them all together and ended up getting 17 bucks plus shipping. I did sell a Mike Piazza card too. Haven't sold a Mike Piazza card in a while. This was another one that sold through offer. Been in my store since I did all these Mike Piazza cards. It's probably been a year. You probably hear me ramble for a year or so every once in a while when I'm selling these Piazzas. I mean, early on I was selling a ton and you guys were probably getting really sick of it. Now they're only trickling in as my inventory of Piazza cards gets really low. This one was really nice though. I think it sold for 15 bucks, and shipping might have been included on that one. Another card that I sold was this autographed Bob Feller card. This was one I actually bought online. I think I paid like $12 for it, shipped. Got it here. Sold it for $21 or $21.99 plus shipping. Not a huge profit, but I just saw a small amount to be made on this one and picked it up. Sold this Rubbermaid carafe infuser thing. I guess you put water in it, put fruit in there, and it kind of flavors your water. Bought this here locally at my favorite thrift store. Paid $1.50 for it. Only reason I picked it up because it was so cheap. And luckily it shipped in state here, so it cost me very little to ship this thing out. And I sold it for $18.99 with free shipping. So it didn't make a ton, but I think my net was like $7 to $8. And the last thing that I sold was another dozen autographed baseballs. I could not figure out who this player was. Sent pictures to a couple different people. They couldn't figure it out either, so I just sold it as unknown signed baseball player, 12 autographed baseballs. Still sold it for the same price as I sold all the other autographed baseballs that I knew who the player was. So got $39.99 plus shipping for this dozen. And looking down here, it looks like I have 1 dozen autographed baseballs from those 9 dozen that I bought for $5 each. So it's turning out to be a great deal. I almost didn't want to buy them that day, and now I'm definitely glad that I did. All right, as I said earlier, I went out to my antique booth this morning, went and stocked it up with a bunch of stuff there, did a little reorganizing as well. And it's hard to film in there because they do play the music the whole time. It's like when you go into Goodwill. So if you're filming there, you're going to have to do voiceover and talk over it. Puts a little more work into the video and makes it a little harder to do. So that's kind of why I don't do a whole lot there. One of these days, I'll do a little more. I actually kind of want to do like a whole walkthrough of the Brass Armadillo. If you've never been there, the place is ginormous. I mean, there's an upstairs, you look out, and there's just hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of booths to check out. So if you've never been there or never even been to an antique mall, it's definitely a cool place to go check out. But for me, I went there to check out my sales, pick up a check, and take all the stuff to my booth and clean it up a little bit. Got my invoice right here, and it was another really solid 2 weeks of sales there. So I almost hit $1,000 in sales for the 2-week period, just shy $969 in total sales with a net of $733.36 back to me. So really good 2 weeks, almost $1,000 in 2 weeks. It's kind of incredible. So what I'm going to do is we'll flip to a different angle, and we're not going to go line by line by line, but I wanted to show you exactly the type of stuff that I'm selling, that I'm having success with in my antique booth. If you have an antique booth or are thinking about getting one, obviously these type of items do sell pretty well as long as you price them good. There's a lot of booths that sell similar items as me, and I don't think they sell nearly as much because they're asking $4, $5, $6 for a comic book and asking $1 per card for common baseball players that nobody wants. Actually, I think that's going to be something I'm going to do in one of my videos. I think I'm going to film me looking at some other cards from other booths and show you what other people are trying to sell for $1 versus what I sell for $1, and you'll see why I sell so many cards there. I did get my printout for what sold in the last week. So this was like the 18th through the 27th, so about 9 days of sales, and I've already done another $569 in sales. So we're not quite on pace to do what I did this last couple of weeks, but still, anytime I'm doing over $500 in a 2-week period at my booth, I'm really happy about that. Let's flip around to a different angle and go over the sales a little bit. All right, here we are with my invoice from the Brass Armadillo. 2 weeks worth of sales is April 4th through April 17th. And what I always do is I like to break it down by how I bought these items or by certain classes. So first off here, we just got comic books. I have 1 box of comic books in my booth. Not a whole lot. Still did $17.50 out of that 1 box. Sports cards. These are just individual sports cards that I sell anywhere from like $1. I think I did sell one $5 card in there, but the majority of them are probably going to average $1, with some being $1.50. Still did $144 in single card sales. Thrift, obviously those are all items that I got through thrift stores or the local auction. Collectibles are either ones that I got through friends, from my guy, anyone that brings me sports collectibles, not thrifted. So there's the totals. Thrift was very high this period. Usually the collectibles is quite a bit higher, but I obviously had some pretty good sales in the thrift realm. And let's kind of go over, I hope you can kind of see this okay. Yeah, there's going to be some shadows on here as I'm pointing to things. Maybe I will point here with my little pen and kind of go line by line for a little bit here and just talk about some of the type of things. I know that many of you have watched these videos before, and I sell mainly sports collectibles and pop culture. These 2 things do really well for me. So you see the first thing here is a Deadpool sign. I buy anything with Deadpool on it that I can make money on. I think he is one of the most collected current superheroes. Call him superhero, but if you've watched his movies, not so superhero-like. But anyways, Marvel sign. The same person might have bought both these 2 things. I do sell some NASCAR. I don't like buying a lot of NASCAR because it is fairly slow selling for me. But I do have quite a bit of it in there right now. Sold to Mark Martin. I do have some collector baseballs, and these are all ones that have like team logos on them. I put them into a ball cube and sell them usually for $7.95. up to like $10. Sold a couple of comic books. And again, most of the comic books I have, they're $1.50 to about $3. I don't like to put more expensive ones in there either. People do things like switch bags as to what comic goes in there and try to get it for a cheaper price. The same thing they do with the sports cards. So I try to keep it to generally lower dollar items. Some other miscellaneous things, a Diamondbacks decal for a few bucks, a couple more comic books, another Dale Earnhardt car. Now here's an autograph photo. Dan Marley, he played for the Phoenix Suns here, is relatively popular. Only sold it for $10. There's no COA on it. Autographs don't sell really good in my booth. Keep going down. We got some like sports card sets. Here's 2 different 1990 score baseball sets for $20 a piece. A little miscellaneous all-star team set for a few bucks. A little model, Diamondbacks ball. Soccer wax box of cards for $9.95. Walking Dead Monopoly. I talk about it all the time. I pick up themed Monopolies. Used, most of them don't sell for a whole lot on eBay and Amazon, so I just put them in my booth anywhere from $15 to $20, and I've sold every one that I've put in there in the last month. Some cards. These collectible movie posters, I'm actually going to do a little video about these collectible movies posters as well as a couple other things, so I won't get into it too much, but sold 2 of those for $3 a piece for $6. A few bobbleheads, a Bullseye and Woody toy that I paid $1 a piece for, I got 5 a piece. Some more Mark Martin cards, some more football cards, a Dodgers team set, more baseball cards, baseball pin, a couple more bobbleheads. Here's an NHL hockey Monopoly that I got $20 for, and a Simpsons. I think that's a comic book for $3.50. All right, we're on to the next page, and again, we're just going to kind of run down here. This will be the last page that I go through everything here. You see, I think this is a comic book, Donald Duck, but you see more cards. And then I think on this page and the next page, we start having a lot of pop figures because I bought all those recently, took them out there, and I sold through more than half of the ones that I took in there in 2 weeks. So Killer Croc, a Wizard of Oz card set, some Star Wars and baseball cards, some more team sets, Magnum PI cards, Norman Rockwell set. These are all miscellaneous things that I get from my guy in set form, and I just throw it in my booth for a few dollars. A couple precious moment items sold. So I don't buy a lot of this type of stuff, but if I can get it cheap enough, I sold a little covered box for $8 and a musical water ball for $15. So a couple of decent little sales there. Some more Suns, teams, magnets, some McDonald's cups. These are like the old ones from like Team USA that had Michael Jordan on them. So that sold for $12.95. Little Shopkins bag. I buy little toy bags and then throw them in there for a couple bucks for parents to buy their kids something to keep them happy. Some racing sets, some other sets. A little Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle figure for $5, another toy that I bought for $1. Bobblehead, some more cards, a Snow White doll. This is an item that I had listed in my eBay store for quite a while. It didn't sell. I took it down there and it sold in a week for the same price I had it on eBay. So definitely start looking for some more items like that. A little mini helmet. Some replica Super Bowl tickets. Now I sold 4 of these for $3. It's a $12 sale for items that I probably have maybe $1 into. I like picking up items like this. So here's a couple of pop figures. Han Solo, Batman, a metal sign from the movie Bullet, football card, sports figure, and a sports figure. And one thing I do like to always talk about when I talk about the booth is fees. And fees are relatively high. My rent is $115.50 for that 2-week period. Plus, you see, this month I had $120.39 in fees. We had a 10% fee is what they charge, but you're also charged credit card processing, similar to like you would pay for PayPal fees on eBay, or what used to be PayPal fees. And then we got an extra little bit for security and insurance, another $250. So all that equaled $120. Add it all together, $235 in fees. And you can sort of see it down here. I'm paying 24% in fees for this 2-week period. Now, obviously, the less you do in sales, the higher your percentage is because you're still paying that $115 a month or for 2 weeks in rent. Whether you sell anything or not, you owe them that $115. So you better sell something to make up for it. And this couple-week period here was really good. As always, if you have any questions about antique booths, put them down below. I hope you enjoyed seeing these items that sold in my booth. And I think that's it. So let's slide over and get this video finished. All right, that's it for today. Thanks for watching. Thanks for hitting the thumbs up. And if you're new, hit that subscribe button too. And as always, I appreciate all your comments down below. And just so you know, that spot up here has been blank the entire time. I've never had another picture that I've gotten done and put up there. Pat Tillman has always been right here. He's in the middle for a reason. He's the favorite of all these that I have up here. And I'm actually going to sell a couple of these because they're starting to fade. This Kurt Warner one here, the autograph is starting to fade a little bit. I need to get rid of it before it completely fades, as well as the Tom Chambers. That one is about 25% gone already. And over here, the Mark Grace one down here as well. That one, only the card is autographed, and that's starting to fade. So I need to get rid of those. And I think I'm doing something different in this area. So just another little bit before I sign off here. So thanks for watching. I'll see you next time.